What if everything you've been taught about creating wealth is completely backwards? What if I told you that the very reason you're struggling financially isn't because you're not working hard enough, but because you've been speaking a language the universe simply doesn't understand? Has this ever happened to you? You work harder, put in longer hours, obsess over every financial decision, yet somehow, the more effort you exert, the further financial freedom seems to slip away. Meanwhile, you watch others who appear to effortlessly attract abundance into their lives, and you wonder what secret they've discovered that continues to elude you. The truth that most financial gurus won't tell you is startlingly simple. Money isn't meant to be chased, it's meant to be commanded. In the spiritual realm, where all material wealth originates, money behaves according to laws that are vastly different from what conventional wisdom teaches us. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. You see, the universe doesn't respond to hustle, struggle, or desperation. It responds to vibrational alignment and clear, authoritative commands. Money, in its purest essence, is simply energy, divine substance that flows, according to spiritual principles that most of us were never taught. Stay with me until the end, because what you're about to discover might completely transform how you interact with money forever. The shift I'm going to reveal isn't about working more hours or implementing complex financial strategies. It's about understanding that your words carry creative power that literally programs your financial reality. Every day, without realizing it, you're issuing commands to the invisible forces that shape your circumstances. When you say things like, "I can't afford this," or "money is so hard to come by," you're not just describing your situation. You're actually creating it through the power of your spoken word. But here's where it gets fascinating. Just as your words have been creating limitation, they can be used to command abundance with astonishing precision. There exists a specific frequency, a particular way of speaking, that money responds to immediately. When you learn to access this frequency, wealth stops being something you chase and becomes something that actively seeks you out. This isn't about positive thinking or wishful affirmations. This is about understanding the exact spiritual laws governing abundance and aligning your speech with divine authority rather than earthly anxiety. The people who seem to attract money effortlessly aren't lucky. They're aligned with these principles, whether consciously or unconsciously. What you're about to learn is the precise vibrational key that unlocks the treasury of the universe. A single powerful sentence that carries such spiritual authority that it can completely transform your relationship with abundance. This powerful sentence acts as a spiritual key that unlocks doors most people spend their entire lives banging against. Think about your own experience with money for a moment. Does it feel like you're constantly running on a financial hamster wheel? The more you run, the more exhausted you become. Yet, somehow, you never actually get anywhere. This endless cycle of struggle is what happens when we misunderstand the fundamental nature of abundance. You exhaust yourself working longer hours. You feel that constant knot of anxiety in your stomach when bills arrive. You lie awake at night worried about the future. And despite all this effort and worry, financial freedom seems to drift further away rather than coming closer. Meanwhile, have you noticed how certain people seem to attract money, opportunities, and abundance with seemingly little effort? They don't appear stressed or desperate about their finances. Instead, they move through the world with a quiet certainty. And somehow, the universe seems to rearrange itself to support them at every turn. If these principles of commanding abundance resonate with you, hit that subscribe button now. I share these powerful spiritual laws because they've transformed countless lives. And I don't want you to miss a single revelation that could be the key to your financial breakthrough. The hidden truth behind this stark contrast lies in a profound mindset shift that transforms your entire relationship with abundance. Most people approach money like desperate beggars, pleading, hoping, stressing, and struggling to receive what they need. But the transformation happens when you recognize yourself as a divine heir, someone who has a birthright to prosperity, and who speaks to the universe not from lack, but from spiritual authority. This revelation isn't just philosophical. It creates a fundamental shift at the energetic level. When you approach money from desperation, you actually repel it. The universe responds to your anxiety by giving you more experiences that justify that anxiety. Your financial struggles aren't happening to you, they're happening through you, manifesting as a direct response to the vibrational frequency you're broadcasting. Behind the scenes of every financial breakthrough is someone who made this crucial transition from beggar to heir, from chasing to commanding, from uncertainty to absolute knowing. They discovered that abundance isn't something to be earned through endless toil, but something to be claimed through spiritual alignment. The impact of this shift cannot be overstated because it transforms your entire relationship with prosperity. Instead of waking up each morning with that familiar feeling of financial anxiety, you begin to move through your day with a deep, unshakable certainty that your supply is assured. Not because your bank account necessarily shows it yet, but because you understand the spiritual mechanics that govern how abundance actually flows. This journey from fear to certainty represents one of the most profound transformations a person can experience. When you truly grasp that you are the heir to infinite abundance, not the beggar hoping for scraps. You speak differently, you think differently, you make decisions differently, and most importantly, you feel different in your relationship with money. Now, I want to go even deeper into understanding exactly how this mindset shift works at the most practical level, because there's a specific vibrational frequency that money responds to, and understanding how to access this frequency changes everything about your financial experience. Write in the comments, "I am a divine heir to abundance," if you're ready to make this fundamental shift in how you relate to money and prosperity. When you begin to perceive money through this higher lens of understanding, a profound revelation emerges. Money isn't just physical currency or numbers in your bank account. It's pure spiritual substance, a form of energy that responds to very specific universal laws. This perspective completely transcends the conventional view that most people have been conditioned to accept, where money is seen as something scarce that must be earned through struggle, sacrifice, and endless effort. The hidden truth is that money, in its most fundamental essence, is simply energy moving in response to consciousness. Just as electricity flows along the path of least resistance, abundance flows toward those who understand its spiritual nature and align themselves with its movement rather than resisting it through fear, doubt, or limiting beliefs. Behind the scenes of every financial breakthrough, there's a profound understanding of this principle at work. Those who seem to magically attract wealth aren't lucky or privileged. They're simply working with the laws that govern how this spiritual substance moves rather than against them. They've discovered the underlying mechanics of manifestation that most people never learn. The journey from financial struggle to effortless abundance begins with this fundamental shift in perception. When you recognize money as spiritual energy rather than physical limitation, you stop trying to manipulate external circumstances and start working with the internal forces that actually create your financial reality. But here's where the revelation becomes truly transformative. The secret to financial abundance isn't in doing more, but in speaking differently. Most people have been taught that the path to wealth requires working harder, hustling more, sacrificing everything on the altar of effort. But this approach completely misunderstands how spiritual law actually operates. Your spoken word carries creative power that few people fully comprehend. Every declaration you make is actually a command to the spiritual substance that governs all visible manifestation. When you say things like, "I never have enough," or "money is so hard to come by," these aren't just descriptive statements. They're creative instructions that the universe faithfully fulfills through the law of vibration. The mindset shift that changes everything happens when you realize that money doesn't respond to effort. It responds to alignment. It doesn't care how hard you work or how many hours you put in. It only responds to the vibrational frequency you're broadcasting through your words, thoughts, and emotions. This understanding completely transforms your approach to creating abundance. Instead of exhausting yourself with more action, more struggle, and more sacrifice, you begin to focus on the quality of your declaration, speaking with the kind of spiritual authority that money cannot help but obey. The impact of this revelation ripples through every area of your life, because it shifts your entire relationship with creation itself. You're no longer a worker trying to earn through labor, but a commander speaking into existence through divine decree. Every word that passes through your lips becomes a seed that will eventually grow into the circumstances of your life. Now, I'm going to reveal something truly extraordinary about the precise vibrational frequency that money responds to most powerfully. A specific way of speaking that transforms you from someone who chases prosperity to someone who magnetizes it effortlessly. Write in the comments, "I command abundance through my words," if you're beginning to feel this profound shift in understanding how money actually works. This vibrational frequency I'm speaking about is active in your life right now, whether you're conscious of it or not. Every single day, you're issuing commands to the universe through your words, thoughts, and emotional vibrations. These aren't just casual expressions or innocent descriptions of your circumstances. They're powerful creative instructions that set universal law into motion with mathematical precision. When you make statements like, "I can't afford this," "Money is always tight," or "I'm always broke," you're not simply describing your current financial situation, you're actually programming your future reality. The universe, operating on perfect spiritual law, doesn't judge whether these commands serve your highest good. It simply responds with unwavering loyalty to the vibrational instructions you're broadcasting. This revelation explains the hidden mechanism behind why so many people remain trapped in financial limitation despite their best efforts to break free. Behind the scenes of every financial struggle lies a consistent pattern of unconscious commands that the universe faithfully fulfills. Your current money situation isn't random or accidental. It's the direct manifestation of the words you've been speaking, often without realizing their creative power. The journey from lack to abundance begins when you become conscious of this mechanism and take full responsibility for the commands you're issuing moment by moment. This isn't about blame, but about profound empowerment. If you've unknowingly created limitation through unconscious speaking, imagine what you can consciously create through deliberate declaration. But here's where the transformation becomes truly extraordinary. Just as limiting words create limitation in your experience, empowered speech creates abundance with the same perfect precision. There exists a specific way of speaking, a particular spiritual frequency that money responds to immediately and unfailingly. When you learn to access this frequency through conscious command, something remarkable happens in your financial reality. Money stops being something you chase and becomes something that actively seeks you out. Opportunities begin finding you rather than you having to hunt them down. Resources start appearing from unexpected sources. And the entire dynamic between you and prosperity fundamentally shifts from one of desperate pursuit to magnetic attraction. This profound mindset revolution explains why some individuals seem to effortlessly attract wealth while others struggle despite working twice as hard. It's not about luck, privilege, or even strategy. It's about understanding that money responds to vibrational alignment rather than physical effort. Those who have discovered this truth speak a different language to the universe, not the language of lack and limitation, but the language of abundance and authority. The impact of this understanding cannot be overstated because it means your financial transformation doesn't require years of struggle or complex strategies. It requires a fundamental shift in how you communicate with the spiritual substance that governs all visible manifestation. When you speak with certainty rather than doubt, with authority rather than anxiety, with the conviction of someone who knows their words carry creative power, the universe has no choice but to respond in kind. Now, I'm going to reveal exactly how to access this money-responsive frequency through a specific pattern of speech that transforms you from someone who begs for prosperity to someone who commands it as your divine right. Write in the comments, "I'm awakening to the power of my words," if you're beginning to recognize how your spoken declarations have been creating your financial reality all along. The access to this abundance-commanding frequency isn't about positive thinking or empty affirmations that you repeat while secretly doubting their truth. What I'm revealing goes far deeper than the surface-level manifestation techniques that have become popularized in recent years. There are precise spiritual laws governing abundance that operate with the same consistency and reliability as the law of gravity or any other natural force in our universe. These laws don't care about your background, your education level, or your current bank balance. They don't favor some people over others or operate randomly. They respond with mathematical precision to alignment rather than effort, to vibration rather than action. When you understand how to work with these laws instead of unknowingly fighting against them, your entire financial reality begins to shift in ways that seem almost miraculous to those who don't understand the mechanics at work. The transformation occurs when you realize that these spiritual principles are just as consistent as physical ones. Just as you wouldn't try to defy gravity by jumping off a building, it makes no sense to struggle against the laws that govern how abundance flows. Your breakthrough happens when you stop swimming against the current and begin moving in harmony with the natural flow of universal abundance. Behind the scenes of what appears to be a chaotic, unpredictable world lies perfect divine order operating through these unwavering principles. The revelation that changes everything is understanding that your relationship with these laws determines your financial experience far more than your education, your connections, or even your actions. This mindset shift explains why certain individuals seem to effortlessly attract wealth, opportunities, and resources, while others struggle despite working twice as hard. These people aren't lucky. They're aligned. Luck implies randomness, chance, something beyond your control. But the truth is far more empowering. Those who consistently experience financial abundance have simply discovered, either consciously or unconsciously, how to speak the language that money understands. Subscribe to join this community of conscious creators who understand that prosperity isn't something you chase, it's something you command. Each video I share contains another piece of this divine puzzle that unlocks the abundant life you deserve. They've learned to issue clear, uncompromising commands to the spiritual substance that governs all visible manifestation. They approach money not as something to be chased or earned through struggle, but as something that naturally responds to their aligned vibration. The impact of this understanding is profound because it moves you from the realm of hoping and wishing to the realm of knowing and commanding. The hidden truth that most financial teachers never reveal is that money itself has a consciousness, not in the human sense, but as intelligent energy that responds to specific vibrational cues. When you learn to broadcast these cues consistently through your speech, thoughts, and feelings, money cannot help but be drawn to you through the perfect operation of spiritual law. This journey from struggle to flow represents one of the most profound shifts you can make in your relationship with abundance. Instead of exhausting yourself trying to make things happen through force, you begin to create your financial reality through alignment with the fundamental laws that govern how prosperity moves throughout the universe. Now, I'm going to reveal the exact vibrational pattern that acts as a key to unlock these spiritual laws, a specific way of speaking that transforms you from someone fighting against the current to someone flowing effortlessly with the abundant stream of divine supply. Write in the comments, "I'm aligning with spiritual law," if you're ready to stop struggling against these principles and start working with them to create the financial reality you truly desire. This vibrational pattern I'm describing isn't complex or difficult to access. It's astonishingly simple. The most profound spiritual truths often are. What if I told you that a single specific sentence spoken with the right understanding and authority could completely transform your entire financial vibration. Not a complex formula, not years of affirmations, not a lifetime of positive thinking. One sentence that carries such precise frequency that it can rewire your relationship with abundance at the deepest level. This revelation challenges everything most people believe about what it takes to create financial transformation. We've been conditioned to think that significant change requires tremendous effort, complex strategies, or years of gradual progress. But the truth is that consciousness can shift in an instant when the right vibrational key unlocks the door to a new level of understanding. When you discover this sentence and learn to speak it with the authority of someone who knows their words carry divine power, something remarkable happens in both your inner and outer world. The sentence itself is like a spiritual technology designed to align you instantly with the frequency that money naturally responds to, that naturally expresses itself in every aspect of your being. This transformation in mindset creates ripple effects that touch every area of your life. When you're no longer operating from a place of financial fear and scarcity, you make fundamentally better decisions across the board. Think about how many choices in life are made from fear rather than faith, from worry about lack rather than certainty of abundance. These fear-based decisions almost always lead to limited results and missed opportunities. When you shift to making decisions from a place of abundance rather than scarcity, you begin taking calculated risks that lead to greater rewards. You stop clinging desperately to what you have out of fear of loss and start moving confidently toward greater expansion. You release the death grip of anxiety that keeps you trapped in limitation and begin flowing with the natural current of prosperity that has been trying to reach you all along. This mindset revolution explains why certain individuals seem to consistently attract remarkable opportunities while others miss them entirely. When you're vibrating at the frequency of lack and limitation, you literally become blind to possibilities that are right in front of you. The same opportunity can present itself to two different people, and only the one who's aligned with abundance will recognize and seize it. Now, I want to reveal something truly extraordinary about how this alignment with divine law transforms your relationship with the entire physical world, how it shifts you from swimming against the current to flowing effortlessly with the abundant stream of universal supply. Write in the comments, "I'm making decisions from abundance," if you can feel yourself beginning to shift from scarcity-based thinking to the kind of abundance consciousness that naturally attracts greater prosperity. This alignment with spiritual law, rather than human opinion, represents one of the most profound shifts you can make in your consciousness. The hidden truth is that the universe has been patiently waiting for you to step into spiritual maturity, to stop begging and start commanding, to stop worrying and start declaring, to stop reacting and start creating. Most people spend their entire lives living according to collective human beliefs about limitation, scarcity, and struggle, rather than aligning themselves with the divine laws that transcend these earthly opinions. The moment you make this fundamental shift from orienting yourself around human concepts to aligning with eternal principles, everything in your external world begins to reorganize itself accordingly. This isn't magical thinking. It's the perfect operation of spiritual law responding to your aligned vibration. The universe doesn't respond to what others believe is possible for you. It responds exclusively to what you're broadcasting through your own conscious declarations. The revelation that transforms everything is recognizing that human opinions about money, prosperity, and abundance are often completely misaligned with spiritual truth. Collective consciousness is saturated with beliefs about limitation that have no foundation in divine law. When you free yourself from these limiting perspectives and begin speaking from truth rather than opinion, you create an entirely different experience of reality. This journey from human perspective to divine alignment represents a pivotal transformation in your relationship with prosperity. Instead of being influenced by what others believe about money or economic conditions, you begin orienting yourself exclusively around the unchanging spiritual laws that govern abundance. Your declarations come from eternal truth rather than temporary appearances, from divine authority rather than human limitation. Now, to fully understand the power of this sacred sentence we've been discussing, we need to explore the very foundation of creation itself. From the beginning of existence, when the universe was nothing but void and darkness, creation happened through sound. Let there be light. These weren't just words describing what happened after the fact. They were the actual creative mechanism through which reality came into existence. This isn't just ancient history or religious poetry. It's the blueprint for how all creation works, including the manifestation of your financial reality. Sound carries creative power beyond what most people can imagine. Words aren't just expressions of thought. They're literal vehicles for the creative force that shapes reality into being. The same divine authority that spoke galaxies into existence, that commanded light to pierce through darkness, that established the laws of physics and set the planets in their courses, has been gifted to you. Most people go through their entire lives treating their voice as mere decoration, as just a way to communicate thoughts or express emotions. But your voice is actually a creative force of immense power. Every single word you speak carries vibration, and every vibration issues precise instructions to the substance of the universe. When you understand this, when you really grasp the magnitude of what's happening every time you open your mouth, it changes everything about how you approach your financial reality. The transformation happens when you recognize that you're not just describing your circumstances through your speech. You're literally creating them through the same mechanism that brought the universe into being. Your word carries the same creative authority when aligned with spiritual truth. Write in the comments, "I speak with creative power," if you're beginning to grasp the tremendous creative force that flows through your voice when you align it with divine law rather than human opinion. This creative power that flows through your vocal cords isn't something reserved for spiritual masters or specially chosen individuals. It's your divine inheritance as a conscious being. The same authority that shaped the cosmos has been gifted to you, not as a distant philosophical concept, but as a practical, usable force that you access every time you speak. Most people never realize the tremendous creative potential they possess simply through the words they choose to declare each day. When you truly grasp this revelation, it transforms how you approach every sentence that passes through your lips. You begin to recognize that your vocal cords aren't just physical structures for communication. They're literally divine instruments through which creative force flows into manifestation. The same power that spoke galaxies into existence, that commanded light to pierce through primordial darkness, that established the immutable laws of physics governing our universe, is available to you in every moment through your conscious declaration. This isn't mystical exaggeration or spiritual metaphor. It's the actual mechanism through which reality operates. The journey from financial struggle to abundance often requires nothing more than reclaiming this creative authority that has been your birthright all along, but that most people unknowingly surrender through unconscious, limiting speech. Behind the scenes of what appears to be random economic forces or financial circumstances lies this fundamental truth. Your voice isn't just decoration or a way to communicate thoughts to others. It's a creative force of immense power that is constantly programming the matrix of creation. Every word you speak carries specific vibration, and every vibration issues precise instructions to the substance of the universe about what to manifest in your physical experience. The transformation happens when you recognize that these aren't just spiritual concepts, but practical tools that operate with mathematical precision in your daily life. Think about how sound actually works in the physical world. It creates waves that literally rearrange particles, that cause physical matter to reorganize itself in response to specific frequencies. This same principle operates at the quantum level of creation, where your spoken declarations are literally reorganizing the energetic substance from which all physical manifestation emerges. When you declare limitation, "I never have enough," or "money is so hard to come by," you're not just expressing a temporary disappointment. You're issuing vibrational instructions that the universe must follow with perfect obedience. The substance of creation doesn't judge whether your words serve your highest good. It simply responds to the frequency you're broadcasting by reorganizing itself to match that vibration. This revelation explains why certain individuals seem to create financial breakthroughs with such apparent ease, while others struggle despite tremendous effort. Those who have aligned their speech with prosperity, either consciously or intuitively, are literally programming a different reality than those who continue speaking limitation regardless of their intentions or desires. The impact of this understanding ripples through every conversation, every thought you voice, every casual comment you make about money. When you recognize that these aren't just sounds, but actual creative commands, you become incredibly intentional about the vibrational instructions you're sending through your daily dialogue with the universe. Now, I want to reveal exactly how your words are received in the invisible realm, the specific mechanism through which your declarations transform from vibration into tangible financial reality. Write in the comments, "My words create worlds," if you're beginning to recognize the tremendous creative force that flows through your voice with every declaration you make. Behind this entire process of manifestation lies a fundamental truth that transforms everything about how you understand creation. Behind every word you've ever spoken, whether conscious or casual, deliberate or unconscious, invisible forces have been responding and rearranging according to your precise vibrational instructions. This isn't happening sometimes or only when you're being particularly spiritual or intentional. It's happening with every single declaration that passes through your lips. The revelation that changes everything is recognizing that the universe doesn't filter your words through any kind of judgment system. It doesn't distinguish between positive and negative declarations, between what serves your highest good and what perpetuates limitation. It simply responds with perfect loyalty to whatever frequency you're broadcasting most consistently. This explains why traditional approaches to manifestation often fail to produce lasting results. Many people try to use positive affirmations for a few minutes each day while continuing to speak limitation, worry, and scarcity the rest of the time. They're essentially broadcasting mixed signals to the universe, then wondering why their reality reflects this same confusion. The substance of creation doesn't prioritize your conscious intentions over your habitual declarations. It responds to the overall frequency you're broadcasting consistently. The transformation happens when you recognize that the universe is literally a frequency-responsive mechanism. Just as a radio receiver picks up whatever station it's tuned to with perfect precision, your reality manifests exactly what you're broadcasting through your words and the feeling behind them. When you understand this principle, you begin approaching your daily speech with tremendous intentionality, recognizing that every casual comment about money is actually a creative instruction rather than an innocent observation. Behind the scenes of what appears to be random financial circumstances lies this hidden truth: your current prosperity level is the perfect reflection of the vibrational instructions you've been sending consistently over time. This isn't about blame or judgment. It's about reclaiming your power as a conscious creator rather than remaining a victim of seemingly external conditions. This revelation explains the secret behind why some people seem to effortlessly attract abundance while others struggle despite working twice as hard. It's not about effort, education, credentials, connections, or even opportunity. It's about understanding that your voice literally programs your reality moment by moment, declaration by declaration, vibration by vibration. Those who experience consistent financial flow haven't been randomly selected for special treatment by the universe. They've simply discovered, either consciously or intuitively, how to broadcast the frequency that abundance naturally responds to. They've aligned their habitual speech patterns with prosperity rather than limitation, with certainty rather than doubt, with authority rather than anxiety. The journey from struggle to effortless attraction represents one of the most profound shifts you can experience in your relationship with money. Instead of pushing, forcing, and exhausting yourself, trying to make things happen through sheer determination, you begin creating your financial reality through aligned vibration that naturally magnetizes what you desire without the desperate chase that most people experience. Now, I want to reveal how to consciously transform your vibrational broadcast, how to stop accidentally programming limitation, and start deliberately commanding abundance through every word you speak. Write in the comments, "I'm tuning to abundance frequency," if you're ready to stop broadcasting the vibration of lack and start consistently sending the instructions that prosperity naturally responds to. This conscious transformation of your vibrational broadcast begins with a profound shift in how you approach your daily vocabulary. When you truly realize that your words aren't just casual sounds or innocent expressions, but actual creative commands being issued to the universe, you become incredibly intentional about every aspect of your spiritual vocabulary. This isn't about monitoring your speech from a place of fear or limitation. It's about recognizing the tremendous creative power you wield through every declaration. Most people unconsciously sabotage their prosperity through careless speech patterns they don't recognize as harmful. They casually throw around phrases like, "I can't afford that," or "money doesn't grow on trees," or "I'm always broke," without any awareness that these aren't just descriptions. They're literally programming instructions that the universe faithfully fulfills. When you understand that these casual statements are actually creative commands being issued to the substance of the universe, you approach your daily dialogue with reverence and tremendous responsibility. The transformation happens when you begin treating your words like the powerful creative tools they truly are. Just as a master craftsman approaches their instruments with care and precision, you begin approaching your vocabulary with conscious awareness of its manifestation power. You become vigilant about every statement you make regarding money, prosperity, and abundance, not from anxiety, but from recognition of your divine authority as a creator. Behind the scenes of this mindset revolution is a growing awareness of the direct connection between your daily dialogue and your financial circumstances. The revelation that changes everything is recognizing that you've been creating your current financial situation through spoken words without even realizing it. Your present experience of abundance or limitation isn't random, accidental, or happening to you. It's the direct manifestation of the vibrational instructions you've been sending consistently over time. Every complaint about money, every statement of limitation, every expression of financial fear has been a creative command that the universe has faithfully fulfilled through the perfect operation of spiritual law. This isn't about blame or regret. It's about the empowering recognition that if you've created your current circumstances through unconscious declaration, you can create new circumstances through conscious command. The journey from financial struggle to prosperity often requires nothing more than becoming aware of and deliberately changing the creative instructions you're sending through your words. Your breakthrough begins when you recognize that the same mechanism that has been manifesting limitation can be redirected to manifest abundance with the same perfect precision. This understanding completely transforms how you approach conversations about money, how you respond to financial challenges, and how you discuss your economic future. Instead of unconsciously reinforcing limitation through casual complaints, you begin deliberately programming abundance through aligned declaration. The same voice that has been creating struggle can create prosperity through this profound shift in awareness. Now, I want to reveal the exact sentence that can completely transform your financial reality, the specific vibrational key that unlocks the treasury of the universe and commands abundance to flow to you rather than forcing you to chase after it endlessly. Write in the comments, "I'm becoming conscious of my creative commands." If you're beginning to recognize how your financial reality has been shaped by the words you've been speaking all along, this hidden affirmation I've shared with you today isn't just another positive statement. It's a spiritual key that transforms your entire relationship with abundance. When you declare, "Infinite Spirit, open the way for my immediate supply. Let all that is mine by divine right now reach me in great avalanches of abundance," you're aligning yourself with the precise frequency that money naturally responds to. I share these principles because I've seen them work in countless lives, including my own. The transformation from chasing money to commanding it represents one of the most profound shifts you can make in your consciousness, moving from struggle and anxiety to divine certainty and magnetic attraction. If this message resonated with you, if you felt that inner knowing that you were meant to discover this understanding today, I'd love to hear from you. Simply write in the comments, "This message was meant for me," so I know we've connected on this journey together. And if you found value in what we've explored, tap that like button. It's a simple way to let me know that these teachings are landing in fertile ground, and it helps others who need this wisdom find their way here too. If you're ready to continue this journey of transformation with me, subscribe to this channel. This is where people come when they're ready to move beyond theory into real, demonstrable results in their relationship with abundance. I don't want you to miss a single revelation that could be the key to your financial breakthrough. There's a video right here that perfectly complements what we've discussed today. It's about the specific mindset shifts that accelerate manifestation and eliminate the waiting period between speaking your word and seeing your results. Click and continue with me over there because your transformation is just beginning.